Alright, welcome back everyone. It's been a few weeks since my last video. I did a bunch of stuff of a Barracuda, but I lost my memory card and with it all of the footage of the past 2 weeks. So I will make a Barracuda video soon, but it's not going to be very exciting because, again, I lost the footage. Anyways, today I want to talk about the Valiant, which is what I've been working on for the past week. This week has been very cold here in Namibia. Like, it was -3 the other day at my house. Now for us here in our dry climate, it's extra cold when it goes into the negatives. So when I was driving to the workshop, I really wanted to use my heater. And when I put it on heat, antifreeze started dripping into my cabin, which is like the heater control valves seals being all busted up and stuff. Now, luckily, a year back when I was doing stuff on this car, I had the foresight of knowing that was going to happen one day, and I've installed an inline valve. Now, this came in really handy when that thing started leaking into the cabin. I just pulled over to the side of the road, closed the valve, it stopped leaking and just went to a steady drip. I came to the workshop and I just tied off the hoses and such while I try to remedy the situation. Now, there is no space underneath the dash to replace the heater control valve, so you have to remove the entire heater box, which is what I elected to do. And I figured while it is out, I might as well open it up and clean it up. There was like a bunch of sticks and leaves and stuff in here clogging up the little radiator anyways. I've rinsed the radiator, put some vinegar in it, let it sit, rinsed it again, so it's super clean right now and ready to be put back together. But there was one difficulty, and that is getting a heater control valve to work with this setup. In this entire city, the only cable operated heater control valve I could source is that for a Volkswagen Golf Mark 1, those little box ones. And it looks like this. Now, I had to do a slight modification to it, but it's very simple. So on the Valiant, when the thing is all the way here, it's supposed to be closed, and when you push it away, it's supposed to be open. Now on the Golf, it's the other way around. It's closed when it's pushed all the way away and open when it's pulled all the way towards you. So the way you modify this is you just loosen up this little bolt and flip this plate upside down, and that will swap it around. So now you can see it's closed, and then when you push it away, it is open, as it should be for the Valiant. They're super cheap and they're nylon, or well, plastic, whatever they might be. But this won't corrode, it won't clog up, and it won't leak into my cabin again, which is a huge plus. However, the only downside is they have 5/8 inch barbs on it, whereas this is 1/2 inch. So I had to go and buy some reducers. They were super long, so I just sawed them off because I only need about 2 barbs to grip, and now I have to step it down. That is not ideal because every time you have a hose over a barb, that's another potential leak. So having to step down a hose from 5/8 to 1/2 inch is not ideal, but you know, what can you do? But yeah, this is the solution. This works. I'm just gonna put this back together, and then that can go back into the car. Hopefully I can finish it today. I'm not gonna film any of that. It's quite straightforward. Oh, here's the old one. So it started leaking, if this will focus, it started leaking here out of a little rod where the arm connects, and as you can see, this thing is just like gunked up. This hose shredded off when I tried to remove it, so yeah, good timing to replace it. Everything was deteriorating. But yeah, you can't find these anywhere, even the second-hand ones. It doesn't help you put a second-hand one back in and it will just leak again. So yeah, I opted to go for this. Anyways, there's more stuff that I did with the Valiant. I also washed it the other day properly, and when I was doing the interior, I've noticed the water isn't draining through the doors. Like, I've washed it with a lot of water and nothing was draining out of the doors, which indicates that the little drainage holes at the bottom of the doors were clogged, and they were indeed because of the 50 years worth of dust seeping into the door and accumulating, and then rainwater getting in. It made like a clay at the entire bottom lip of a door and obviously clogged with the little drainage holes. So I took off the door cards off of all the doors. I've cleaned out the bottom of it. It was a lot of effort. First I had to scrape it loose with a screwdriver, and then I tried to vacuum out as much as I could, but that didn't really get me very far. So I pulled the car outside, took the garden hose and just like hosed out the insides of my doors until the water that came out of it was clean. I obviously blew it out of the air compressor right afterwards, and then I've left it for a few days just to make sure it dries properly. So before I put the door cards back, which is here by the way, I just fixed a bunch of stuff here and gave it some varnish so that this gets a bit more sturdy and doesn't deteriorate. But anyways, before I put them back, there's something that I'm going to do to the doors. Sorry, video cuts out. Anyways, I went to Wirt and bought some of this protective transparent wax spray, and I am going to spray the entirety of the insides of the doors with this, so that it has a little wax layer, so that when the water does come in, it just flows down and out of the holes and it doesn't sit and rust. Now, luckily, with the history of this car being mostly in a desert environment, it hasn't really rusted despite all the clay and water accumulation. You know, it really does look good. And all the doors look the same. So that might not be entirely necessary, just like cleaning the drainage holes would be adequate. However, you might as well go the extra step when you are at this stage. It's just a little bit of preventative maintenance, and yeah, I think that's it really. I'm quickly going to put all of that back together, and then the heater, and then get it back in the car, and then hopefully I'm done. So yeah, that was just a little update video of what I've been up to. When I'm done with this car, I'll probably film a Barracuda video for you guys tomorrow. So yeah, stay tuned. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.